For me, I like to see myself grow. I like to see that I'm moving in my journey the way that I need to move in my journey. And I think sometimes we think that we have to move in a specific way. Like we expect for it to work a certain way. And then we realize that, it shifted. Hey guys, how you doing? It is your girl Abia Grant. Welcome back to my channel. It's been forever since I've actually sat down and did a video for you guys, but the channel, I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of have an idea of how I want the channel to go. And I know I am constantly changing how videos or like topics that I'm going to be discussing. But I decided that the type of videos that I was putting out before, where I was talking about elevated vibes, those were just vlog type videos, and they weren't really getting into detail or addressing how I am trying to elevate my life, how I am learning from my past. And I was just like, I need to scrap that because those are definitely vlogs. And I actually want to do some sit down videos with you guys. And I know, as I mentioned before, the channel is constantly changing. And I just feel like as I am constantly changing, things are going to change with the channel. So I hope that, you guys understand this is just a part of the journey and everything. So with that being said, I really don't know what I'm going to name this playlist or anything. I'll figure that out in the whole post-editing YouTube situation. But the idea that I have for these type of videos is basically they're sit down videos like this, and which I will be getting into detail or just explaining of how I'm trying to navigate, my life, and talk about some of the things that I have learned. If you guys don't already know, I am 41 years old. So I have experienced different journeys in my life, and I feel like I have something to say. And also I am just less fearful about how people will perceive me, so yeah. So with that being said, I want to get into today's video, and I have my iPad here. So if you see me looking down, that is the reason why. But I wanted to get into this topic, and I have 4 bullet points that I kind of want to discuss in this video with you guys. The topic is parts of me I'm learning to embrace and no longer hide. So I picked this topic obviously for it to be the first episode in this series, is because I'm choosing no longer to hide anymore. I'm choosing to show up as myself, the good, the not so good, and I'm okay with that because I like to see, for me, I like to see myself grow. I like to see that I'm moving in my journey the way that I need to move in my journey, and I think sometimes we think that we have to move in a specific way. Like we expect for it to work a certain way, and then we realize that, it shifted and it went through, a different, or yeah, it went through, apologize for a second, it went a different avenue. All right, so let's get into the first bullet point. And the first one is I am being honest with my struggles regarding my mental health. So, if you guys don't already know, I suffer from anxiety. I spoke about that before on the channel. I think I have a playlist. I'm pretty sure I do have a playlist that's out there. I was suffering from anxiety a lot about 2 years ago. I want to say 2 years ago. And it was regarding just stress and my mental health and the things that I was not allowing for myself to process, and trying to hide from the situation. And I'm choosing to no longer hide, me having mental health issues. I do suffer from depression as well too, and it can be very. It's a weird place to be in. If you do suffer from depression, you know that feeling of you want to push through, but it's just so hard to push through because your emotions are in a specific place. And sometimes it could just be very hard to pull yourself out of that state. If you guys don't already know, I went to counseling for it. I had a therapist for it. And I still do have bouts of depression. I'm gonna be honest with you. At least a couple of weeks ago, it was pretty heavy. And if you guys, I think that this episode may come out after my upcoming podcast episode, but I did put an episode out there talking about just stress and everything and my feelings behind it. So I talk a lot about my mental health on my podcast. So check out my podcast, Reflection by Abia. The link will be down below if you want to just know more about that space. I choose to no longer feel uncomfortable talking about it. I think it was, for me, like a weakness. And I am no longer thinking in that way. Like, people have problems, and this just happens to be one of my problems. So, and I'm comfortable now in my own skin to say it out loud, So that's my first bullet point. The second one that I am no longer hiding from anymore, and I'm embracing it, is I love to be loved. I think how I grew up and just the relationships I have with my loved ones, like, we didn't say I love you a lot. We knew that we cared about each other, but it was there, but it wasn't addressed. I'm not sure, I hope that makes sense. But I love to be loved on, whether it's from my husband, whether it's from friendships, whether it's, it's just, I love to be loved. And I love to be able to express it, It's very vulnerable to open up to someone to say, I care about you, or I, love you. It seems like such a light word. Like, it seems like love is just, a 4-letter word, but it means so much, encompassed in that. That means that you respect the person. That means that, you are happy about that person. That means that you are there for that person. That means that you see the person. There's so many things that involves, love and being loved on. And I like it. I'm in a place right now where I don't have a, problem saying to my husband, hey, I need you to love on me. Like, I will say it. Like, before, I would kind of like hide my feelings, especially like earlier in the relationship, because it just not how I didn't know how to express myself. Now, this one is a totally flip side of this situation or the prior bullet point, but I like my solitude. And I know that doesn't make any sense because, like, how can you love to be loved on, but also like being alone at the same time? Now, I'm the only child. I am used to my own company. I had family, I had people, cousins and things around my age, but primarily I sorry, I just hit my glasses. Primarily, I was by myself. I was by myself a lot, and I like being alone, and I find my own peace in being alone. And this is the thing, you can be alone but still be in the mix of people. Like sometimes if I want my solitude, I'll go to the park. I'm around people, but I'm by myself. Or I'll take myself out to the movies, or I'll go out to go eat by myself. Like, I don't mind being alone, but at the same time, it's something that I kind of hid because it's like, if you are to tell a person that, okay, I don't want to be bothered, you said to say, and they will maybe look at you some type of way, and you will keep it to yourself. You see what I'm saying? But I guess you could say this is something I've always embraced about myself, but I hid it from, well, people, just in people in general, relationships that I've been in prior as well too. Now with my partner now, one of the good things is that he doesn't mind being by himself, and I don't mind being by myself. And that's one of the things that works out for us. It's because we don't need to be on top of each other, you know? And I think it's also very important to not be on top of each other all the time, because you do need your space. And, you know, it just becomes very clingy. That's the best way I can phrase it is, you don't want to. I remember it was a relationship I was in, and I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I remember that I had dated this guy, and when I say that I was attached to his hip, and when he told me that he wanted his own space, I was just kind of like, well, why you don't want to be around me? You know, I feel that situation stemmed from just my own insecurities as well too. Just being in this new situation, and you know, you're hoping that the person likes you, and it was a self-esteem thing. But one of the things that happened in that relationship is that we started to separate because he felt like I needed to be by myself, and or I needed to be with my friends. I don't need to be with you 24/7. And I took that some type of way. I took that some type of way because of my own insecurities. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to project that feeling, but also at the same time, I've learned to manage my self-esteem. Like, I feel like I value myself, I know myself, but that took time. At this time, I want to say, and I know I keep playing with my hair, I apologize for that. When I was younger, there was a lot going on at that time when I was younger. And that just really stems from childhood and male role models, and I already know where it came from. And I projected that onto relationships. But no longer, you know. And I embrace just being solo. I embrace being in my own company. There's nothing wrong with that. So the fourth bullet point that I have is my journey is constantly shifting. as I am growing, as I'm becoming more knowledgeable of the things that I enjoy, my journey is constantly shifting. And a part of me thought that I don't know my way. I guess you can say a part of me felt like, well, maybe you should continue on this route because that's just the way that it should be done, because that's what you set it up to do in the beginning. But what I've also realized is that I need to embrace that change. Like, change can benefit you. And just because things are not working out the way you necessarily thought it was going to work out in the beginning, I think I mentioned that earlier, doesn't mean that this new situation, it's going to be, I guess you could say a dud, or it's not going to be a positive avenue that you're going to go down on. And I'm no longer hiding from this journey of change. Like, I embrace the change, and it's about time. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's about time, and I am enjoying it, and I look forward to just how things are going to continue to progress. I'm regular just like you, and I go through life things just like you, and I think about things just like you, and I want to be kind of that person to talk about it. Well, not kinda. I want to be that person to talk about it. That's also the reason why I have the podcast as well too, because people need to express and talk about how they're feeling. Like, it needs to happen, because that would just make your relationships better. To be honest with you, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with, your loved ones, and it's just all about growth. It's just all about the journey. So guys, that is pretty much it. I hope that you have enjoyed this sit down video. I hope that you have learned more about me. And I look forward to just bringing different type of these discussions in the future. My goal is to try to maybe do these type of videos once a month, maybe twice a month. We'll see how it goes, because I do have a life outside of this. And lives. Okay, lives. So that is pretty much it. I haven't said this in so long on the channel, but stay blessed out there in those streets. Make sure you treat others kindly out there in those streets. And God willing, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.